you helped an animal in need and you saved a life and you provided a really good service for a quick
Welcome, friends, to the very first episode of Growing Into It. We are so excited that you joined us to check out this podcast. I'm your host, Ellen.
And I'm your other host, Paige. Guys, it has been a journey to get to this point, so let's get into it. If you're out here faking it till you make it, still trying to figure out what you want to be when you grow up, despite technically having a career, or trying to figure out the secrets of adulthood, this podcast is for you.
Each week we'll be diving into topics covering personal growth, career pivots, relationship challenges, and all the topics the internet has way too many answers for, like skincare and finances. Now, who are we?
I'll start. My name is Paige, and I'm going to be one of your Growing Into It gals. I'm 28 years old, and I live and work in the Kitchener-Waterloo area. I've been a registered veterinary technician for about 7 years now. If you don't know what an RVT is, they're essentially the veterinary equivalent of a nurse. So I do a lot of supportive roles in the clinic, such as phlebotomy, dentistry, radiology, anesthesia. I also work in a general practice clinic. So I also do preventative medicine, such as wellness exams and vaccines.
What a great explanation.
Thank you. I am a newlywed. I married my husband, Ty, last October, and we were together for about 8 years before that. We have one cat, Mabel, and one dog, Hazel, who make up a larger portion of my personality than I would like to admit. Some fast facts about me is that my horoscope sign is a Cancer. I'm a big red wine girly. My favorite season is fall. I'm a chronic oversharer, and I am a certified yapper. So I'm very excited to start this podcast journey, and I hope that you all think that I'm as funny as I think I am.
I sure do. Hi, I'm Ellen. I am 32 years old, but still growing into the feeling of being an adult, which is primarily where the inspiration for this podcast came from. I'm also a registered vet tech. Last year, I finished my certification as a companion animal rehabilitation therapist, and now I'm beginning my education to certify in pain management. Fun fact, I love to learn. I'm also a newlywed. Andrew and I got married last September, so about 2 weeks before Paige and Ty did, and that's kind of where we also got a little bit closer in our friendship. We were getting married the same year, so we were going through the same things, and we just started talking a lot more. I'm an Aquarius, so unlike Paige, I'm not a certified yapper or oversharer, which is why I needed a co-host like her. Or these episodes would be about 10 minutes long with straight facts and my one hot take.
I love your hot takes, though.
They come in real hot. And then I just shut up. I just let everyone absorb it. I just need someone else to talk.
So I like to think we're going to be the perfect match, the perfect duo, and I hope that you guys think so as well.
Crossed. We both really think we're funny. Like, I think I'm a fucking comedian, but
this is the true test, honestly. Like, this is
yeah
how we're going to find it.
This is Mabel. Say hi.
She's like, I heard you say my name.
She's gonna fucking jump on my shoulder.
She might. And her nails are pretty sharp right now. Look at her. She's sussing you out. Mabel, don't even think about it. So we'll tell you a little bit about how we met. So Ellen and I were in college at the same time. So we both went to school at a very, very small college in Northern Ontario. Gosh, what was our class? Like 40 people?
I think it started a little bit bigger, like 60, and then it squandered to 40.
Yes, that's a good point. So still like honestly pretty small class sizes, really small residence as well. It was only 4 floors, and that was kind of how we ended up making our friends. Like I ended up becoming friends with people that lived on my floor, both my roommate and then one that lived directly across from me. I was on the 3rd floor, Ellen was on the 4th floor.
I was.
So we weren't destined to get close, right?
Not right away.
At the start, which honestly I think makes sense because I think we were in different life stages at the time. I was like freshly 19, my first experience moving from home. So I was a very enthusiastic college student. Ellen was a little bit older.
I was a little bit older. I think I was like 21 or 22. And that was also my first time being out of my like childhood home. So I was really excited about that. That's the reason I wanted to go up north. And I had a little bit more time. So like I had a party year a couple years outside of high school, and like, not to say that I didn't party up there, because I did.
Yes.
But yeah, I was a little bit older. And we had different vibes.
Exactly.
Different vibes.
Fell into different friend groups.
Yeah.
And it's not like we didn't like each other by any means. We just fell into those different people, and it really quickly just became you stuck with who you first met up there.
Yeah. And like,
you ride or died with them.
Yep. And we still hung out. Like everyone kind of partied together because it's a small town. So there was one bar. We all went to the one bar on Fridays and Saturdays. And it was one residence. So we all went to the same parties. And we still knew each other and everything. Obviously, like our classes, I think we had a lot of classes together. Like we were in the same section.
Yep.
For a lot.
Separate practicals, but otherwise all of our lectures were all together.
Yeah. So like we knew each other and stuff. And we did graduate different years. I graduated 1 year before Paige because she did a second program up there that was 1 year. So I was in practice 1 year before Paige. And then once Paige graduated, she headhunted me for the clinic she worked at.
I sure did.
And we quickly became work wives. And that's where our friendship kind of blossomed first.
Yeah, we worked really, really well together. We were just like an inseparable duo. I still to this day miss working with you because we did make such a good team. But yeah, unfortunately, I headhunted her and then I left her about a year after she had joined the practice. So we were really close when we worked together. We had a couple other girls from that clinic that we were close with as well. So we would all kind of get together casually here and there. And then I think just obviously life happens. You get really busy. I can be really bad with, I'm good at seeing who's right in front of me. So sometimes when I don't see that person every day, it's easy to fall out of touch a little bit. So, life happened and people got busy.
Yeah.
And then what really brought us back together, like you said, was the weddings. We got married 2 weeks apart. So all of that planning and all of those parties, we went to each other's bachelorettes, bridal showers, stag and does, all that jazz, and really supported each other during our wedding year, which was huge. Like it was really, really nice to have you to lean on and be like, I'm going through this. Is this also how you feel?
Yeah, we had a lot of back and forth, and that was a nice, I would love to do an episode on work friends and how like leaving a job, you often fall out of the relationship, even if you want to keep it initially. But we did know each other before and stuff. I don't know. I just felt like you were a good friend and I wanted to hang on.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, like it is harder when you're work friends. You don't have to try. You see that person every day. It's easier to make plans with those people. You're really invested in their lives. Again, work talk, like water cooler talk. You see each other every day, and then you just talk about your lives. So you're kind of more in their life, and then you kind of fall out of it when you're in a different job. You have different friends at that different job. Yeah.
But I'm glad that we got brought back together.
Yeah.
And now we're here. We're both married now. We're both not having kids. So this seemed like the perfect time to start something else together, start a creative outlet together. So it's really exciting that this has been our kind of journey together. And it's interesting to see where it'll go. So we can kind of explain too why we wanted to start the podcast. It was Ellen's idea. So I'll let you take the lead on this.
So I was having conversations with friends, including Paige, just about how I don't feel like I'm an adult and the responsibilities and everything that come with that word. I think when we are growing up and still working towards graduating and looking forward to a career, looking forward to all these life milestones that we romanticize being an adult. And then we get there and we're like, I'm still struggling with X, Y, Z. And now there's also ABC. I don't understand why I don't have everything together, even though I have technically a career, or I've gotten married, or I've bought a house. And also I have some friends, and you have some friends too, that are now pregnant. And I'm looking at my husband and I'm like, they're not adults yet. They can't have a baby.
Like, oh my gosh, a teen pregnancy.
A teen pregnancy. What are they going to do? And Andrew's like, they're 30. They can have a baby. But it's just those responsibilities. And I know like they'll laugh at that too. Of course they're responsible enough, obviously. But they will admit like, yeah, I don't feel ready. And I think it's also something that as you get older, you kind of realize that your parents are people too. And obviously they went through this as well, but no one really talks about it openly. And some people might not feel comfortable talking about how they don't feel like their life is together. And there's still stereotypes around talking about money, just even shame around if you don't have a house yet. Which is so silly. There's no shame in renting, which right now I think, especially where we are, everyone's very pressured to buy, but renting really allowed me to be more independent and allowed me to just start to know myself better.
You also lived with your friends for a while too. And
Yeah.
I think that's
And
a really nice
best
journey
thing.
to do,
Yeah.
right? Like I had done that obviously when I was in college because we had moved about 6 hours up north.
Yeah.
We did have that time away from home and rented and lived in residence and all of that. But I also think it was a really cool experience that you also lived with friends after college before you moved in with your husband.
I
And I
can't
think that was a
recommend it
really cool
enough.
journey.
Yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. I lived with two of my best friends for 2 years, and it was the best experience of my life. And even before that, I lived with my roommate, who is also one of my best friends, for a year outside of residence and in residence, and those were some of my best years as well.
Yep.
And like, yes, I love living with my husband, but living with your friends is so different. So different. It's like a little frat house, and it's so fun.
Yep.
So much fun.
Absolutely.
Another thing was that I don't like doing anything without researching it. I don't go onto TikTok and learn how to get a skincare routine because I feel like there's just so much information.
There's so much information. There's
and
so much content out there,
Yes.
and you don't know how to decipher it sometimes.
And content that contradicts each
Each
other
other all the time, literally all the time. I'm like, I just read that collagen is good. Now I've read that collagen is bad. Do I do retinol? Do I not do retinol? I'm like, I don't effing know what to do.
And I can't. Like, that's just like my personality type is I don't trust the internet. So I like to go to professionals to hear what they have to say, and it's more tailored to me usually. But I like to get the education. That is what I like. So going forward with a podcast, like, yes, we're going to have episodes where it's Paige and I, but I really want to have episodes where we hear other people's stories about how they got to where they are, but also for their professional opinion, like for their hot takes, to learn more, get you guys learning more.
And about their journey, right? Like figure out what they've been through and what it took to get them where they are. Like I think a huge thing too, especially with social media, and I just think in general, everyone always acts like they have it figured out. They act like they have achieved everything they want to, or they're really close to achieving what they want to. I think it's really natural to try and be positive and be like, look at all these things I've achieved. But that doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen really easily.
No.
And there's a lot of day-to-day struggles. There's a lot of struggles that continue on throughout your life that hold you back, and things are not that easy to achieve, right? That perfect fitness body is not something you achieve in a month. That skincare routine isn't something that you're going to see the results from after 2 days of using a product. Like it takes time to figure out what you want to do. It takes time to grow your business, your career, your friendship, your relationship with your partner, right? So I think it's really nice to be able to be an outlet for people to hear about other people's struggles, about how they're still figuring it out, even though it looks like they have it figured out. It's just like it's a comfort, right?
It's a comfort. And we're going to show that we're growing into this podcast space as well.
Yes.
We have no clue what we're doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
none.
hope coming up to this first episode, we've posted a few times how we forgot an adapter or our audio interface is new and we don't know how to use that. And microphones, laptops.
I think this is our 5th time recording. This is our our 5th time that we have come together with the intention of recording content to put out to you guys. And this is the first time that I think we will actually be successful. We have failed the last
crossed.
4 times. So we want to say, hey, we're learning. Hopefully, you know, this works out really good and it's not absolute chaos. And I hope you guys can follow along with it.
We hope you can laugh with us and just be like, oh, those silly girls. Silly girls. We hope this is going to be a fun space for everybody and something that you will enjoy on a weekly basis. And we want to share your stories too. Like this is going to be a lot of audience participation as well. We just want to communicate with you guys as much as possible. We'll figure out kind of what works and what doesn't work. If you guys can put that in like comments and reviews and stuff, that helps us kind of grow this podcast as well. But yeah, we're excited. We're very excited.
We want to, you know, support you guys, support us, support our community, support small businesses. Like we just kind of want to be that part of the community.
Want to get into questions?
Yeah, let's do questions. So like Ellen said, we want to do that recurring theme of reaching out to our followers, posting stories to ask some Q&A about our topic. And you guys can throw in topics you want to discuss, questions you might have for us. So we did that for this episode, which was very fun, very exciting. We appreciate all of your answers. So we're excited to get into those.
Okay. A good question that we saw, because we did have this conversation, was what our boundaries were between us to maintain our friendship. And this was important, especially because we are starting the podcast. And again, Paige and I haven't been extremely close people. So it takes a sec to learn, you know what? I text a lot and Paige doesn't. So that was a big learning curve that I had to bring forth.
3 business days later, I'm like, hey. Also, keep in mind, too, this is not our full-time job either. This is a side hustle that we're doing. We both work 4 to 5 to 6 days a week as well, right? So boundaries were really important to set for the two of us because we have full-time jobs and, you know, we work out, we try to spend time with our partners and our friends. So boundaries was a really important thing that I'm glad you brought up discussing before we fully deep dived into this.
Yeah, because just setting expectations of what I'm expecting. So, Paige, did you want to do your job and then come home at 6 o'clock or whatever and answer stuff for me? Or is from Tuesday to Friday off limits for podcast talk? We can talk as friends, but podcast talk is off. Like, what is our limits? What is our open hours for our podcast chat?
Our next question was, what are you curious about in relation to our careers? So really good question. Things you love most, dislike most, and how well do they balance each side out?
I love giving care to animals in general. I love advocating for a being that can't advocate for themselves. I love giving care to something that doesn't understand what is going on, what's wrong with them. I love seeing them come in with a problem, me help, and then them leave with that problem solved. What I dislike is that I have a very creative side to me, so I can get a lot of like my scientific portion out in my job and my need to feel like I'm contributing to society, but creative wise, I don't have that aspect. So I do need a creative outlet outside of work to feel satisfied fully in my week. Previous to the podcast, I had a side hustle of pet painting pet portraits, and I love doing that, but I wanted to learn something new. And because of how I felt about these conversations I was having, and I felt like I could reach out, this is a new area that I don't have previous education on. So I thought it was a really fun challenge. So that's why I wanted to do this now. And yeah, so like they don't go hand in hand within my career, but it does go with the theme of the podcast of growing into different spaces and not being afraid to try something new. Even though you have a career, you don't have to put every single thing into your full-time job, your full-time career. You have other outlets that you can tap into.
I think a lot of people in veterinary medicine tend to have side hustles because unfortunately it is not the most well-paid career. So you have to find different outlets. Like I have friends in the veterinary industry that they have those creative outlets of they do pet portraits or they bake cookies or they make collars. There's a lot of people who have something on the side, both kind of out of necessity to maybe make a little bit more money, but also again for that creative outlet. Because I think, I mean, a lot of women, I think just naturally
That's true.
have that creative drive as well, where they want to create something that they feel passionate about.
And they want to share like something else that you want to share with your community. I think women are very community based. So yes, helping in your community in something like vet med or what your full-time job is, whatever it is, you're helping. That is what builds a community is jobs. But then being able to also provide something that gives somebody joy, like art or a book or a podcast, is also very rewarding.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think for me too, my love of veterinary medicine is similar to yours. Like being able to advocate for animals and provide them care that they wouldn't be able to provide to themselves. And also then the extra feel good moment of how happy and satisfied your clients are, right? It feels so good when these people bring their pets in with a genuine medical concern. You figure out what's going on, you treat it, and then they leave in a better state than they came. And people show so much gratitude towards that, and that's a really rewarding part of the job as well. And I also love the variety of my job. I'm not someone that likes repetition. I get bored very easily. So having a job where I can do so many different things and each day honestly feels so different is a really nice part of the job as well. I think my dislike, unfortunately, is burnout. It's very real. It's very talked about in the veterinary medicine field. It's very well known that it's a hard field to work in because
it's very underappreciated.
Yeah. It's such an emotional job, right? These people, again, they're bringing their pets in and they're scared and they want these pets to be okay because they love them. They're their babies. And unfortunately, medical care is not free for pets. And
like, it's not free for us either. But
yes,
in Canada, we are so fortunate to have free medical care that a lot of people forget that just because it's free, that comes from tax dollars. It is not free. Veterinary medicine is no different.
Overall, I do find, it works out. It balances out. I think when you get to leave your job feeling like you helped an animal in need and you saved a life and you provided a really good service for the words just kept not coming. When you're able to provide that service, it's really rewarding.
It's so rewarding.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps us going, honestly. We do love what we do.
Yeah. We did get a question about burnout as well, but we do want to do an episode that kind of deep dives into that. So we are going to touch on that in a future episode.
We asked what you're curious about in relation to the podcast. One question was about the frequency of episodes, and we are really, really hoping to get episodes out to you guys every week. There might be a couple of weeks through the summer where we have to skip a week, but we'll let you know. But that is our goal, is once a week. And then we got some really great support of that. Everyone's just excited to listen. So thank you guys. We're so excited to be here and that you are listening. Love you so much and appreciate your support.
I love the two answers because one says everything, so excited to listen, and nothing, just excited. And I thought that was hilarious.
We have the same feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything and nothing. We are also just excited.
Yeah. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
So ask a question that you would ask a new friend. One of our favorites from this was, what is your bucket list trip of a lifetime?
So Andrew and I have agreed that if we won the lottery, we would go to every single F1 race in a season. And that is, Paige had mentioned that her pets take up a lot of her personality, and this is mine. F1 takes up way too much of my personality.
I love it. I think it's really sweet that it's something that both of you are interested
It was
in
really
and
nice.
both of you really love to do.
Yeah.
So it would be such a fun trip for you two to do together. Just be literal F1 groupies.
It was nice. Like we discovered F1 together because yes, we are Netflix bandwagon F1 people. That is how we got into it. Don't come after me. But we really fell in love with the sport, and now we stream every race. We had a viewing party last night for the first race of the season. And yeah, so we would follow the F1 season and travel. They go all over the world. So you get to see the world and then also enjoy something. And we would get paddock passes. We would do all of the things. But that is our bucket list trip of a lifetime.
I
What
love
about
that. For me, there's kind of two. Ty and I were very fortunate to have an amazing honeymoon. We went to Greece for 16 days and it was absolutely everything. It was my first time going to Europe. And I love it. I love the lifestyle. I love the food. So we definitely do want to do more traveling throughout Europe and experience that culture. But also another one for us is, again, if we had won the lottery, we would want to get a converted van. So like a Sprinter van just made into a camper. And we want to do a cross Canada trip. So hit up all of the national parks, camping,
That is just
hiking,
amazing.
take the dog. Just because Canada, it's so beautiful.
It's so vast and
There's
so
so
beautiful.
much.
Like I would also absolutely love to do that. I want to see all of Canada. That is on my bucket list. I want to see every single province. Yes.
Absolutely.
10 out of 10. Love that idea.
That's the goal.
There was some questions about like skincare, workout, some trauma questions. We want to save this all for other episodes. So we're not skipping over your questions. We are just ready to give you full episodes about it. In the Ask Us Anything portion of our questions, we had an awesome question about guests, and our answer is yes, we're going to have as many guests as possible. We want this to be a community, so we want to hear from other members of the community. We want to hear from professionals in their field about what they do, about how they do it, how they got there, what they're growing into, how to grow into that space. Just because you're in your late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, if you guys are in your 40s, welcome. But it doesn't mean that you have to have everything figured out. I am still learning. I want to learn from professionals. I want their input. And then you guys can get a little bit more direct answers, like right from the horse's mouth.
We're focusing on doing some episodes, just the two of us, just so we can figure out our vibe, our flow, make sure that everything is working right and set up for success. So first couple of episodes, you'll just get to hear our lovely voices. And then in the future, we'll have some really awesome guests from the community that we're very, very stoked for.
If you have anybody that you recommend or would like to hear from, we would love to hear it. So just shoot us a DM or comment on this episode in Spotify or Apple.
We have so many friends and family that are really excited for us, supporting us, getting involved already. So thank you, everyone. We love you guys so much.
Okay, so just a summary. This is what you can expect from our show. Conversations around challenges throughout different life stages, interview with guests sharing their journey, and hopefully some good laughs. We love to laugh, and we both think we're hilarious. New episodes will hopefully be dropping once a week. We're aiming for Wednesday because what says I have my life together more than getting through hump day?
Love that. So cute. I hope you come here for whatever you want to get from it, whether it's a good laugh or some advice or some support.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you loved this episode, and our next episode will be about friendships through different life stages. So we really hope you come tune in for that.
Have a good week, guys.
Peace out, peaches. Mwah.
Mwah. Oh, I like that we did it together. Cute.